you stick around because we're only getting warmed up.
Hey guys, just interrupting this podcast. We have launched our weekly newsletter called Wedding Weekly Intel, and it's all about the business of weddings, pinged into your inbox every week.
Bonus insights into every episode, key takeaways and summaries from previous guests, sneak peeks into the next upcoming guests, as well as loads of other like industry trends, things that are happening in the world of wedding business. Obviously, our perspectives on all of these things, tips, advice. Hopefully loads of wedding nuggets are going to help you in your business and give you something to think about for the week coming. And it's totally free.
All right, go and sign up. It's in our bio, in our Instagram, and it's in our bio, in our Instagram.
It's going to be in the description for the podcast, and it's also in our Instagram or messages for the link. We'd love to have you sign up. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Go get it. On with the episode. Right, I'm going to intro in, Adam, or because that's probably all going to, I don't know.
It's the only part that you get to say.
Involved in this. We're getting you involved because you're a marketing whiz.
We'll not leave you out.
Go on.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gents, boys and girls, whenever or wherever you're listening. Welcome to another episode of Think Wedding Business. Now, today, me and Adam are being put to shame because we've got the real pros on when it comes to podcasting. We have got Jason and Danny from That Wedding Videographer Podcast to join us today, talking about all their journey from start to finish. So welcome, guys. Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
You can tell you're an entertainer, like with that intro. It's like, that's great. I feel pumped, ready to get in the dance floor.
This is what Howard brings to the pod and nothing else, because then we'll just chat. We'll chat video for the next hour.
I like to be a contrast to Adam. He's the most laid back person you'll ever meet.
He never lets me do the intro.
Adam sound like?
Hi, Danny and James. How are we doing? All right.
You good, mate? You good? I'm good. I'm good.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're listening
there we
from.
go.
This is Adam, and this is Howard. I've lost it already. I don't know.
And on with the questions.
To be fair, you are basically horizontal, Adam. Like,
I know.
You're so laid back.
We are an interesting contrast. I think it kind of works for the most
The
part.
yin and yang.
Yeah.
Me and him.
We're lucky Adam smiles nowadays. It was always like the old Adam. He just had like this resting bitch face, which kind of just didn't really change much. But,
It's true.
Perfect for podcasting. Perfect for
Very
podcasting.
true.
we taught him how to smile.
Yeah, it's a good job no one watches these. It's mostly listens. But yeah, speaking of our dynamic, we've got these guys have been coined the Ant and Dec of the wedding videography industry. Through your podcast and obviously your summit, which is your annual conference up in Glasgow. For those who know, if you know, you know. But yeah, so obviously videography aside, lads, I've known you both for a while. Danny probably more so, but we'd love to hear about your whole journey of how you got started and how you built your podcast and how you are positioned yourself now to be Ant and Dec, because I know you've put in a lot of work, but what you've done is that there's going to be loads of benefits to your authority to couples as videographers. Like, you are the Yodas of the wedding industry, and that shows. And then it's helping your network, and I imagine benefits, but we'll get into that. Do you want to say anything, Howard? Because I'm already discarded you.
Mate, I'm liking your flow, Adam. I've got to say.
Thank you.
And it's also great you've got a connection with these guys as well. So yeah, starting from the list, we know, Danny, with the course, you got our course and that kind of whether that kicked you off or not. But take us right back to the beginning, then, guys. Well, how do you guys both get started out with what you do?
Specifically, because what you do is so educational. I want to know what your relationship with education was prior to doing your own, because I know you both, well, especially in Danny's case with our course, you both put a lot of time into your own education when you started. Yeah, take us back.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
So I mean, I started wedding filmmaking, wedding videography, and I was kind of dabbling with it in 2019, and I think it was kind of 2020 that I kind of took the first step. So I was working full time. Kirsty was pregnant with my first boy. I've got 3 boys now, but she was pregnant with Frankie at the time, and obviously I was the head of sales for a local startup in Glasgow, And because it was a startup and obviously COVID happened, the whole market disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, I need to figure out another form of income because I've got a child on the way. Started playing about with the cameras, and then, eventually kind of fell into weddings somewhat. And I was recommended your course. Funnily enough, by the chaps. Remember at the summit, Adam, the guy that won the camera. Remember on stage when I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
to roll up and
That was nice. That it was really nice.
So it was David that recommended the course to me at the time. And then so I obviously got your course, which was so invaluable at the time. It kind of helped me leapfrog. I mean, I always say to this day, the editing section was probably the bit that I got so much value out of, because it must have knocked about 10 hours off my editing time, just in terms of the process and stuff like that you go into. But that course was, for me, starting out, it was, it was well worth the money and more. And I think you have still got that course live, guys. If you are just starting out in wedding filmmaking, or you're wanting to go for it, definitely check it out, because there's so much good stuff in there.
Didn't even have to ask for that. There you go.
No,
And what's
it's
the
true.
course called, Adam? And where can people find it?
Insert plug. Yeah, it's all linked. It's all linked. Don't worry.
The complete
Um,
wedding film
current-
business course.
Currently on sale.
Yeah, but I mean, it was great. It covered so much, and for me, who had no that was probably the first bit of education that I bought. But I knew very early on, and I guess maybe it's just kind of like my background, being in kind of like corporate, and knowing that, you need training for stuff. You can't just expect to kind of come into some new business or new sector and just let your soft skills carry you, right? Because I'm quite charismatic. I've been in sales for for pretty much since day dot. I can handle myself that way. I had so much to learn from the other stuff when it came to, like, using cameras and stuff. So I knew early on that was going to be a way that I could cut my learning time down dramatically. Hence why I bought that. I bought loads of different courses. Jace is the same. And we invested quite heavily because we knew how much value you could get from learning through other people's lived experience and their mistakes that they made, and, so on and so forth. And yeah, pretty much that's been, like, 2020 really was the kind of first kind of like proper year, and then it's been all kind of guns blazing since
Yeah,
then.
smashing it. I remember seeing you at the Wedding Industry Awards, because
Yes.
Scotland got put into the Northwest category for one of the years.
Yeah,
So
couple
it
of
was,
years, because we didn't have any in Scotland.
uh-huh.
We do now.
Down. Oh yeah, there was two. There was two that you came to, because there was one at the Crowwood when we
Yes.
first met, and
Yeah.
then the Mitten Hall one when you and
Yeah.
Casey stayed over. And you were trashed, and I was trying to go home, and you just like I couldn't get away.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I was just biting your ear off all the time. But
That's all good. It's all good.
yeah, no, it was good. It was good fun. And listen, like those, I think that there's so much value you get out of doing stuff like that, because it can be such a lonely job, especially our job, photographer and videographers. You're not really seeing people. You're in your editing caves and stuff. So, so yeah,
I imagine it's same for anyone, Howard, singing and stuff. Like, you do your thing, you go home, don't you?
yeah, yes,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
God, I spent the best part of a year in my bedroom learning sets and songs, and before I actually went out into the wedding world. But yeah, that's what it is. So it's great to get out and network and go to the events and get pissed with people, and yeah,
good at that.
it's all
Yeah,
it's all good.
the thing then is that you're usually the only supplier doing your craft at a wedding, so you don't often, if ever, work with anyone else that does what you
yeah,
do,
none of your peers,
which
no.
is such a weird thing. So you're usually working solo. Granted, you work with other people in the industry, so you can network in that way, but actually getting to spend time with people who do what you do, understand what your issues are, what your, things you sort of worry about or things you're confident about. It's a great chance to be able to network with people who do what you do, and that's why these industry awards and summits and other events are so important to go and meet. Because I can imagine that's why you were chatting his ear off, because it's like, ooh, other videographers.
I was definitely fanboying at the time, because obviously I'd just at the time I was, I loved obviously all your work, and I went through the course and stuff like that, and I was like, oh my God, it's Adam Wing.
What's that?
I know, and I was like, I'm in the same room and I can
Friend.
chat to you. And that's what the good thing about these events are, though, is because you can go and speak to people that you just don't have access to normally.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think
You are put in a room with people that are in your world, and it's like, oh,
totally,
my
yeah,
people are here. You know, they can
yeah,
understand everything, all your cares and worries, and everything else that goes along with it. But
It's
yeah. And I
important to
think
seek these things out, though, isn't it? Because like, yes, you are put in a room, but it's only because you've bought a ticket and you've gone to the thing and you've put
exactly.
yourself out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for me as well, just with that, because I do owe a hell of a lot to you, but I guess you both obviously for the course, but for all the kind of advice when I was kind of first starting out when it came to wedding filmmaking, because that was part of the catalyst that helped kind of push me on to, I guess, to where I am now. So I do have a lot to thank you for. So.
Oh, bless
just
you.
out of interest, then, how long did it take to go full time when after you'd got the course?
So so that was 2020, and I shot 3 weddings in 2020, and then in 2021 I shot about 40 weddings whilst working full time. Just not something I would ever recommend to anybody. So don't listen
That's
to
the
my
way
words.
to do it, though, isn't it? That's the way to do
I,
it.
I had this goal in my mind, and that was me, and I was set on it, and that's what I was going to do, and nothing was stopping me from doing it. So but there was loads of sacrifices I made then. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't around much, with Kirsty and the kids, which was obviously not great because I was just so busy, coming in for work and then editing. It wasn't great. There was no work-life balance, but
Every
it did
cloud.
allow me to then go full time the following year. So I would say probably from buying that course, maybe in like the tail end of 2020 to 2021, I was then, looking at full time maybe about a year and a half later. I could have went sooner, but I was just I did have this innate fear for a while for that jump, and eventually I was like, right, I need to do it. I basically got to the point where I booked that many that it was impossible for me to keep the full-time job. And I think for me, because I was in a pretty well-paid job at the time, and I basically wanted to like match or beat the money that I had coming in from the job that I was working in at the time
Yeah,
to
that's
to
the way
allow
to.
me
It's
to.
a stumbling block for a lot of people, isn't it? Especially when you've got a decent income coming in, because it's
It's a
like,
Yeah.
massive fear.
how can I stop that? It
Yeah,
needs to
massive.
work. Yeah.
Especially when I had a new kids as well, like,
Mm.
and then Kirsty was then pregnant with baby number two, and I was just like looking at how much nursery payments cost and going,
You
"Eh,
should have just bought a TV, Dan. You've got too many kids. Just find something to do
yeah,
in your evenings.
no, no more now, no more now. That's us, we're done."
You touched on.
I think with me, Adam, it took me as soon as I matched my income I was making, that was my time to then go then because that actually freed up so much more time to then create more business, and
Hmm.
that's what it does. People might be go, I'm matching it, but once you've got there, you've freed up all that time. You can just go and network more. Just
Yeah,
fully
Yeah.
focus, and don't stop until you've reached your goal. Just
I
keep
reckon I could have
going.
left like 20 grand in bookings before I did actually leave.
Yeah.
Because, like you said there, I could have invested so much more time into doing what ultimately I did do just like, 6 months later, which was marketing and just like I would have had all this free time to edit that I didn't have because I was up and down to Aberdeen, 3 days a week,
Miles away.
miles
Yeah.
away. So I was like 6 hours driving, 3 times a week. It was a lot.
There's a
So
lot to be said about what happens when you do actually go full time. Obviously, there's a change in the fact that okay, you are responsible to be at a certain place at a certain time, Monday to Friday, essentially, if that was your contract. And then when you go full time, you're in charge of your own time. So you do have to be disciplined to go like, oh well, this is great. I don't have to actually wake up. It's a nice novelty for a while, but if you carry on that trend, it does become dangerous. And
that's a problem.
yeah, and definitely don't do what I do. Like I went full time when my turnover matched my income, not my income matched my
Ah, I
income.
see.
So I was like, oh, that's a nice number. I'll quit now. And
Yeah, and then tax bill.
yeah, oh yeah, there's expenses to go with this as
Those
well.
those Amazon monthly payments sure add up.
Yeah, that's it. And it's crazy because like some months were like, oh, these are heavier months. Like that's great. Like I'd never earned that in a month. Yeah, but the next month isn't the same. So there's
Yeah.
definitely, I think before anyone goes full time, you need to get a better business head on you. It's nice to look at the numbers, but for your own sanity, it's just good to kind of get everything sorted.
Winter is a lonely time.
Oh, it is every winter. Every winter is. I mean, it's usually fine now, but that only comes from time and experience and figuring out.
Yeah,
So,
processes and
You
stuff.
do have to work it out because the first couple of years you go, oh, winters, there's no more weddings. Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest danger I think is actually? See, when you are working full time and you've got this on as a side gig, it's like monopoly money.
Oh yeah.
It's like you just like, oh yeah, sure, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then
You
you
get
get
used to it, don't you?
you get into the habit of just going on to like the likes of Amazon or something and go, yep, add to basket. That's going in my
yeah.
basket.
Yeah.
That's one wedding's worth of all my currency,
Yeah.
my relationship with money turned into how many weddings. So it was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll buy that. That'll cost me one wedding. I just need to book one wedding and then I can get that.
Yeah.
And
Exactly
then
what I do.
yeah, and then Jade says, "Oh, we need this," and it's like, right, well, just book another wedding. Yeah,
Like
And then-
it's like our version of Bitcoin. Yeah.
yeah. Comes back to bite you in the ass years later when
Oh, it
you're
does. It
trying
does.
to be more sensible, and Jade's still in that. I've built this mindset where she's like, just book another wedding, it'll be fine. I'm like, it doesn't work like that anymore. It
You've
used
got,
to.
you've got another wedding back there. Another wedding, you know. No, need another holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Get off your ass, go book a wedding. Danny, you touched on something really important when you in regards to education. You said it fast tracked you way past all that learning curve and those
Massively.
early days that you go through. I think
Yeah.
that's anyone listening. We always advocate for education, whatever your niche is. Find something or someone to learn from because you can skip, and that's the benefit of someone with experience has gone through all that. And if you can learn from those people, then you skip all of that initial eight. I mean, obviously, I've always been lucky because I've had Howard, but I skipped those probably 2 years of going to local wedding fairs down
Yeah.
Blackpool and doing the dodgy weddings and the not knowing what to charge and the not knowing how to have my website and having to figure all that out the long way. It's a massive shortcut, isn't it?
Oh, huge, huge. And it's like anything, really. I mean, because there's so much education out now, right? I think even, back, say, like 5 years ago, there wasn't as much as there is now. There's obviously a
Yeah.
lot more out there, but there, there might be like courses that you buy and there's stuff in there that maybe covers a lot of the stuff that you already know, but sometimes there's these little pockets and gems that make the whole course worthwhile just even for that one section as well, so it's like don't just continue to be curious, I guess.
Yeah.
Be my because
Always, yeah.
we still buy stuff all the time
All the time.
just because we just want as much knowledge as possible because you don't know
And-
everything.
And we're lucky in video world because there is so much now, and there's
loads.
loads of community, loads of educational stuff. It's lovely, but I don't know whether it's like that in every part of the wedding world. So like anyone listening,
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, for me, because I'm a singer, there's not really much education regards the actual craft of singing and entertaining, but there's still lots of other business type of information. But for you guys, you get it all, don't you? You get because your world's constantly changing, I imagine, with video. Different styles are coming in, different cameras, and you've always got a lot of stuff to know. So there's always going to be that sort of education element for you guys across the board. But for me, it's just kind of the business stuff, finding out about Facebook ads, for instance, and things like that are kind of generic across the board. But yeah, you've got a real little community with the film. It's like a massive family, in it. It's good.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I mean, it's
massively.
definitely, I think, with the introduction of like the several podcasts that have come out, the two events that happen throughout the year, I think there's other events as well. There just has now been this opportunity for us to get together because, the simple fact that we get an opportunity to hang out with people like Adam twice a year, like that just would have been possible before. Like I'm friends with people right the very south of England that I would never have crossed paths with.
Yeah.
So that's the community has become a lot more like close together, and that's only a good thing.
A lot
I think
better
our
than
goal-
broken down.
I think our goal, Adam, is to create a community across the board, isn't it? Really, I think we're gonna start doing our odd events, so it can be every niche, every niche, can sort of come together. And we've got one coming up, and do you know Andy Murphy, DJ? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah.
Yeah, he does 2 events a year, and they're great. They're carnage as well. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like all
Don't-
Northwest suppliers
Yeah,
get together in Manchester and just get levered. Basically, it's good
But
fun.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's our work night out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
our Christmas night out. That's what that is.
Because we've got someone in Scotland, Ewan Lawrence. He runs a company called Tartan Entertainment, and
Yeah.
he is essentially trying to. Like, he's done a few of them, but never at a time that's kind of worked for everyone. So he's going to be arranging one, like a bit. He's like runs an entertainment DJ company, and he's going to be basically throwing a night for us all, which we can just let her down, which would be great.
Blow off some steam.
Yeah,
Loads of
absolutely.
venoms, loads of venoms.
Venoms.
We'll get one of the Venoms,
Um,
I'm sure.
Right, so just to pull it back then, Jace, because am I right in thinking that you were a bit of a course whore back in the day, especially
big time.
stateside?
Big time. The thing is, like I went to college and studied film and TV, and with the intention of becoming like a cameraman for BBC or something like that. It didn't really pan out like that. I did have some people that I knew that did weddings, and they kind of invited me along, and I kind of just kept the second shooter thing going, for about 9 or 10 years before actually deciding to go and film my own. It was just something I always had on the side because the corporate job I was working was, similar to Danny, it was a really well paid job. I felt quite lucky to be doing something like that. I was a photographer, basically traveling all over Scotland, choosing where I wanted to go and what day, basically taking pictures of buildings and things. It was an easy, well paid job, and I thought I've just landed completely on my feet here. Like, this is great. And then it really got Americanized. The American company that owned it basically made it super strict. They put watches on us to guide to track our steps, to make sure they knew where we were. They wanted me in certain locations at certain times, put a camera in my car, and it just became kind of like a bit of a prison sentence.
Jesus.
Big Brother is watching.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. So, but the main benefit of it is that I was sat alone in a car for 8 hours a day, and in that car, all I was thinking of, I want to do something else. So, what do I know? And I know weddings. So I listened to podcasts after podcasts, not necessarily just on weddings, but just on business and marketing, and that really kind of got the fire under my belly of like, I think I could do some marketing, like put some sort of passionate marketing behind maybe wedding videography. Maybe I could do something like this. And there wasn't really many wedding videography podcasts going around at the time, until I discovered How to Film Weddings, which was a massive wedding videography podcast in the States. So I kind of really went all in on that, and they introduced me to dozens of very different, very out there videographers that I wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to see had I just sort of looked locally. And then they introduced me to a brand called Bottle Brush Films, who were based in Australia. And at that point, I liked wedding videography, but I could never really sit down and watch wedding video after wedding video. Didn't really enjoy them as much because I thought there was a lot of similarity with them. And it wasn't until I'd seen Bottle Brush that I'm like, my God, I found what I like in wedding videography. So I tried to use that as inspiration to kind of start my own brand. So I mean, I started my business in 2018. It was very traditional, very sort of that sort of romantic sort of approach. And it wasn't until 2020 when I discovered Bottle Brush that I decided to flip the script. And obviously had a bit of time to plan because 2020 was 2020. And then as 2021 came in, that's when I launched my brand as it is Afterglow just now, which was kind of leaning more into alternative, fun, energetic type videography. But when it came to courses, I mean, I think pretty much everything that How to Film Weddings released, I bought. I mean, we're talking 5 figures that I've spent on education. Like it's insane the amount I've spent. I would buy brochure packs. I would buy seminars. I went over to the States on 2 workshops. I went to California. I went to Denver. I've been at Chicago for a workshop. I would go. Anything that was going that I thought that would inspire me or just kind of give me some sort of edge. I was obsessed with, and it was very similar, Danny, in terms of where that took my business head. It took me a lot further. It did inspire me to quit the full-time job earlier because I could foresee what was maybe going to happen if I did these steps. And all I wanted to do instead of being in the car was market. I just wanted to get everything sorted. And that was the inspiration. Courses really accelerated that. If I just done everything myself, I probably would have burnt myself out and lost the fire because I didn't see a way out of it. Just doing it myself. So the courses really accelerated that, and I think it's all the
Very
lessons.
different market, isn't it, in the States?
Very different market. Yeah, it's so vast, and obviously, like budget wise, aside, the products are kind of the same. The clients are different for sure. There's a different kind of clientele there than you have over here. The venues are very different. So there's a lot of limitations as to what they can achieve to what we can achieve, and what an American client would expect to what a UK client would expect. But I think part of the reason that Afterglow has been successful is that at least 25% of my clients are actually American. Like I have a lot of people come over who elope or take their whole families over. So because I've kind of done it the American way, I attract a lot of American couples, which
It's
is
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's definitely a factor of it as well. Another thing is that Americans don't tend to book a year, like more than a year in advance, which is a very similar model to mine. I book a lot of my weddings in the same year. And I think that is because I'm niched down. People who book Danny kind of know, oh, we want a videographer and we want someone who's class at doing what wedding videography can look like. And that's why Danny gets booked out pretty quick because he's so high in demand. Whereas people who book me have historically said they don't want a videographer because they haven't found a style that works for them. And that's when they find me last minute and they go, there you go, that's what we need. So
Yeah, because it's
that's very
different.
similar to the American way in terms of they don't necessarily get booked out more than 12 months in advance. So maybe that's been a hindrance. Maybe I should have booked more UK videography education.
I don't know though, because
over here.
someone told me a while ago to always keep your eye on the States and what's happening, because all those trends 2 or 3 years on down the line sort of
They
cross
filter
over
back, yeah.
and
Yeah.
filter back into. There's a lot of inspiration from America that filtered into UK weddings, but there's like a couple of years delay on. I think it was the Lawsons actually, Howard, that said that they were following American photographers. And then starting to do that, and it was ahead of the time, and then it seeped into the UK slowly but surely.
I don't know what I
I
do with the
saw-
intros in the room with the couples, because that was an American-esque type thing, doing the intros with the music in the room. When I did it 20 years ago, nobody was doing it apart from one other person. And it's a very American-inspired sort of vibe, and it works,
Yeah.
Now every man and his dog is doing it. You get magicians now that are hosting weddings, doing music and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to ask the questions about the authority side of things, Adam. Are we at that? Can I ask that now? Do you think you have anything else
I
to
was
clear
just
up
going to get
first?
onto the podcast and how they got together and what kind of made them think about doing it.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that first then. I think that, and then I'm going to ask about if the authority of it actually works for
It's
getting.
almost like I've thought about the chronologicalness of the questions.
Order.
So that's how we got into videography. How did we meet?
How did you guys come together? Come on.
So,
Venoms.
well, yeah. I mean, the idea of the podcast came on a night out. We've got quite a good network within the kind of Scottish wedding filmmaking community. We're all quite friendly. We have our own kind of like Facebook group page that we all kind of chat in and stuff. And we'd been on there, kind of chatted to each other on and off on like Instagram and stuff. And it was on one of those meetup night out that we ended up at a bar. I think it was the same bar that we went to at Nice and Sleazy's. Was it Nice?
Box, wasn't it?
Oh, Box, right next to Nice and Sleazy's, that we went to for the summit. And yeah, we got pretty smashed on Venoms.
Yeah.
And you were talking about doing a podcast.
I'd already started one.
You'd started one.
Never went published. Never published it. I still have the recordings, but I never published it.
Need to let us listen to them.
I know, right? I know.
And yeah, you were kind of just talking about, oh yeah, I'd love to do a podcast just on I've kind of started a podcast, but I'd love to kind of like do one, on kind of like wedding filmmaking and stuff. And, I'm smashed, never done a podcast before in my life. And I'm like, I'll do it. Let's do it.
I mean,
Let's do it.
was that the order of which it happened? Had we not been speaking?
We'd been speaking on and off, but I mean, that was the kind of catalyst that
Right.
night.
Because my
What was the
memory.
reason though? What made you go, yeah, we should do a podcast? Like, what about? What?
Well, I mean, well, this is why I think I remember things differently, but maybe I've got the order wrong. But I always loved talking about everything else but the videography side of it. Like I wanted to know also like how are you building your brochure? How are you like organizing your clients? How are you getting the details? What's your sort of process before and after the wedding in terms of delivery? Those are the questions I was asking people that I was getting from the courses. And Danny had reached out to me a couple times on Instagram. You sent me a couple films.
Hmm.
And I remember I actually screen recorded one of your films that you sent to me and re-edited it. And I'm like, I was like, oh, you got to do sound design here. This is what you got to do. Like, we got to put some, and then you just dinged it. And you went, okay.
I was
I
like, nah.
no, I was like, okay, I've made that. Some
Don't
quick.
like this guy. See
Yeah,
you later.
Um,
it's a prick.
I was like, this is great, man. But then we just got talking over WhatsApp. We'd send a bunch of voice notes over, like bookings and like conversions and stuff. We'd spend
Yeah, we'd still we'd
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 send
hang about
like
and stuff like that and
yeah.
chat.
So we sent like really long voice notes to each other, podcast length voice notes.
Quite long ones.
And it was like, well,
That's
this
what I
is
do.
yeah. And I would just sit and listen to this and go like, this is great conversation. Like this is the stuff that I want to talk about that I'm getting from America from the podcasts. I'm hearing the voices in America talk about this stuff. This is what I want to. I want this for here, and I hadn't really found anyone here, properly that was doing that specifically to what I needed. All I was hearing was American voices all the time, but because I'd gone through the courses and there was a few things they were teaching that weren't relatable to us, I thought it'd be really good if us in the UK had something that was relatable to us, and Danny agreed. And I think that's why we're like, okay, you know what? Maybe there's a space for something like
Yeah.
this in the UK.
Can
Yeah.
I just ask if it was because I think if you've got great authority in the industry and it's a marketing technique for couples who want to book you, you are the authority in that space. They are perceived experts, and having a podcast can be part of that. Winning wedding awards, all that kind of stuff. Was it intentional to actually get more bookings and because you've got the authority, because you've got a podcast, or was it quite a separate thing? Was it no, we just wanted a podcast for us?
Nah, it was more we wanted to do a podcast, kind of like what Jay said there, because of all of the noise or podcast that was out there it was so American focused. And I think if we think back to like when I first started, I was charging maybe like 600, 700 pound or whatever, 500 pound or whatever for the first kind of couple of weddings. Um, and all these podcasts that I was listening to was just talking about charge more, book $20,000 weddings, book $30,000 weddings. And there is no, if you're somebody new starting out in the industry, young, whoever, you cannot relate to somebody talking about a 28,000 or a $30,000 wedding if you cannot get a booking for maybe like one of the maybe lower end venues or whatever in the country for £500. There is no, you're in completely different worlds. And that was part of the reason why we thought there was a gap for the podcast, because we were like, nobody is speaking to the people, everybody else that's not wanting to go into the luxury market, because so many of these podcasts, they're great, but they're aspirational.
Very aspirational.
They're not so much, they're educational to a point, but only if you're going to if you're wanting to get to a certain destination. And there wasn't anything speaking to the people that just wanted to get better, just wanted to maybe, stay under the VAT threshold, or just wanted to, have a nice life, have a nice job, spend more time with their kids. It was all book more weddings, put your prices up, get to the next stage, Lux weddings this, Lux weddings that.
Not
And we were
practical,
like,
that is it?
no,
So
it's not.
yeah,
It's
you
not.
bring it down to earth and making it real for people, aren't you?
Exactly. Majority of people don't want to. There's only a very, very small percentage of the market that actually get there and want to get there. And some people get there and they realize that's not what they want in the first place anyway. It's just they thought they wanted, they were romanticized, I guess, with the idea of it. But in practical terms, are like, no, I don't actually want to be there. So that was it. In terms of, it wasn't really on our minds that, oh, this will help us that this will help bookings because people will then think that we're experts in the space. That wasn't our thought or intention.
Yeah.
Have you
It was
have you
more
found that to have happened at all, or is it?
people do comment on it. Some people do comment on it. Like I've got it on my website now because I'm quite proud of obviously what we've built. You know, like from because we've been at this for
3 years next month. No, wait a minute. What's the date today? Holy shit,
24th.
it's been over 3 years.
it's 3 years.
Mhm.
Is it?
Is it?
Was it the
No, it's
24th?
it's 2 years.
2 years.
It's 2 years. We got the studio 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the 16th of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
I
So
think
yeah,
we're
so
3 years
I'm proud. I'm proud of obviously like what we've built. So I've got it on the website. You know that we have the podcast and stuff, and some people do kind of like comment on it. But I wouldn't say it's had a massive driving effect in the terms of bookings. But again, some people will be aware of it. You know, I share stuff on my socials about it,
Yeah.
and couples do certainly comment on it, and I think they do find it quite cool. I had a guy, a couple yesterday that I was speaking to. He works in a kind of like a bio. I think he leads a startup in a biotech company. And he was like, I really like how you were doing the podcast. I can see that you're like it's this complete entrepreneurial spirit or whatever that's in me kind of thing. So I'd kind of already won the groom over, which, as you know, can be quite difficult sometimes.
Well, there you go. It is working.
Yeah.
So yeah. But would I say it's had a massive effect on bookings? Probably not.
And I would agree with that. Like the intention of this podcast was never, for me, it was never to reach the clients because I know on normal people don't necessarily listen to a podcast that has nothing to do with them. Obviously, if they're looking for wedding videography advice in terms of how to book a wedding videographer or what style of wedding videographer you're looking for, then this podcast has absolutely no value for you. All this is talking about is you know what our side of the business looks like. It doesn't necessarily have value for them. There are some people that have listened to it, and I've had some couples know about my life story, and I've got nothing to say because they've heard it on the podcast. That has happened, but I don't think it's necessarily influenced anyone to book me.
I've had quite a few couples say that they listen to it.
Yeah, it happens now and again, which kind of scares me a little bit. 'Cause I'm like, "Oh, I said,
I don't like it, guys. I don't. If one of my couples says, "Oh, I've seen your podcast," I'm like, "Oh no,"
uh-oh."
because it's all like marketing secrets and sales techniques and
Yeah.
shit.
But I mean,
He
it's-
used that
it's a
technique on me.
It's a business, but I
It's a
think
business.
you know the whole point of this was that if we put our voices out there and we can connect with people, essentially, I wanted to get the feeling of excitement into people that I got when I heard like people saying things that related to me. So when I was listening to How for Weddings, back in the day before they sort of,
Or maybe our wedding folks.
or maybe Redfields as well, yeah. I just what that excited me when I was listening to that podcast. It made me think I can apply this in my business, and I don't think we were getting served enough here. That's the intention for me for starting this. Is that if someone's gonna do it, let's do it because it's gonna take a lot of effort. And I knew when I started it before that format didn't work for me. It needed two people. I felt, and I was just looking for someone that would be up for doing that. That's when I was like, oh yeah, actually, we have good conversations. So I knew it would work if we put a lot of effort into it, and it would.
And we did.
Yeah, we put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
So and now there's a lot of people listening, which is great, and it just means that hopefully, the greatest thing is people who are just starting out, and they come to you for advice, and I'm more than happy to go right. This is great that you've got in touch with me now because there's
Blank
things-
canvas.
yeah, you can. There's so many mistakes you can go down. Like, do these things now, and you will thank yourself later. And I'm so excited to see their journey. That's honestly the best thing about this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Not,
that's-
not necessarily the booking of the couples. Like, this is you get advice from listening to people. Like when we had Adam on the podcast, I took so much from having Adam on the podcast. That's an example of where this has been beneficial to my business, not necessarily the exposure.
I
yes.
love talking to our guests because each one will have their own little golden nugget, and I mean we learn from it as well. But you get so much gold from having lots of different people in different niches talking about certain different things.
Totally.
Yeah, I've implemented things that we've learned from our guests on our podcast into my business.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So it does help in that sense. And so I suppose not so much couples then, but in terms of positioning yourself within wedding videography market, because obviously like it's built your network out
Yeah.
massively, hasn't it? I'm guessing, but I kind of know that it has. And then that's could potentially lead to referrals, I guess, in terms of wedding bookings. But was there any intention of like we want to build our network within videography and go into this educational kind of monetize it that way?
Because see, to be honest, because we haven't done, I think, what a lot of maybe podcasts have done that maybe we've listened to before in the past. They maybe the podcast starts and then maybe within like 5 weeks there's a course out.
Yeah, yeah.
So we didn't want to do that. And that was for us both, that was an absolute non-negotiable, that we weren't just going to go, let's do this for 5 weeks or whatever, or 2 months or whatever, and then just release a course to try and monetize that. We still don't have a course. And we're 2 years in. It's definitely it's in the near future.
It has to tick all the boxes. Like, we don't just want to throw something out. Like, we want to, like, all the lessons we've learned through this, we've become different in the last 2 years. We want to prove that that we've got that we understand what we're talking about, and that we can actually deliver something that is going to be valuable. And understanding what the greatest thing about this is that because people have come to us with problems, we know what people are struggling with.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, if we're going to build a course, we want to answer those questions so that it is feasible. So this was a research project as well as anything, for because a course, it's a great asset to deliver to people, but you also, if you're going to release a course, you want to make sure that you are helping people. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big decision for us.
Yeah. So we've not, in the traditional sense, monetized it. Obviously, we have, for instance, so we have our annual summit that we bring people along to. It's not really a money maker for us, though. To be honest, yeah, I guess it could be if we put the ticket price up. But again, we just want to make it as accessible as possible for people to come to, so that they can, learn and make differences to their business. Probably doesn't sound on the face of it like good business strategy, I guess, but we're at the moment, and pretty much since the beginning, we've been doing it for the love and the want of trying to kind of like help people. That was the goal. Anything that came from that as a result, in terms of kind of like monetary wise, was really kind of just a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, the real benefit of having these events is getting the people together, because not everyone will put an event on like that to bring these opportunities. Whether or not you're transformed from it or not, the fact is that 5 years ago, when we were really at the beginnings of our business, wasn't opportunities unless someone organized a random nights out with your local community. Now you're bringing in people from all over the world. I mean, we had Ben from New Zealand come over. We had Hello Tomorrow from Canada come over. We had Matt Johnson, who last year from Texas, who's massive on YouTube. These are things that people wouldn't get an opportunity to see before. So as long as we do it, and it doesn't necessarily cost us, like, we're not losing a lot of money doing it. Like, it's never been about making money for us. It's about bringing these opportunities so that we can ultimately better the industry.
Yeah. And I would say a lot of the money that maybe has been made has went into things like, making the studio, making things a little bit better, up in production, making it, because I mean, like, one of the first things that we done when we first even started the podcast was the two of us were, again, non-negotiable. We have to get the branding right. Like, we have to pay the money, get the branding done, get the website done, because otherwise it's just not going to have the legs. People will buy into it if it's polished and whatever. So that's what we've done. We spent a lot of money on branding and web design in that first year.
I think, yeah.
I've got two questions. Hope you don't mind.
Of course.
Just jumping in. Number one, what's a venom?
Adam, want to explain?
And then
I can answer that one.
And then number two, for people who don't know, what is your event? What's it called? And when do you hold it? And what's it about? So answer the first question first. Adam, do you know all about the venom then?
I don't know the ingredients, but I know it's a cocktail that is
Who does, Adam?
famous in It's famous in Glasgow. I think it's just 90% toxic waste, to be honest. But it's like radioactive green glowing drink
Basically,
Essentially,
you know
that's
the
full of booze.
windscreen wash you get at like winter, and it's like the minus
Yeah,
20% stuff
antifreeze.
from Halfords.
You got
That's
some
like
habits up there. I tell you,
yeah,
like deep fried Mars bars and
it's
stuff, and it's
it's that color, and it's like Southern Comfort,
Wicked,
wi-
vodka, and orange juice.
yeah, blue WKD, vodka, I think maybe an orange juice, and
Yeah.
it comes out very eliminated green,
This
but it doesn't
this
really taste
drink,
like you're drinking alcohol because it tastes like juice, but you are.
It's very strong, very strong.
yeah,
But
it's like
yeah,
pop. But
essentially,
then the sorry, Jace, the drinks become synonymous with the event that they hold because after the first one we all got trashed on Venoms at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And then it happened again this year. And
so
We
yeah.
actually
I
had
want to try
Venoms at the
Venom.
summit. We had Venoms at the summit this year. But yeah, to answer your question, what is it? So it's held every year, normally at the start of every wedding season.
It's called That Wedding Videographer Summit.
That Wedding Videographer Summit, TWVS. And we had so like this year we had a total of 5 speakers. Last year it was 4. Adam was speaking at the very first one.
He was the very first speaker of
Yeah.
our
yeah,
summit.
I was, yeah.
Very first speaker.
Yeah. And we're bringing videographers from all across the UK and out of it now. We've got a lot. We've started to get a lot more Europeans now that are coming for next year. And it's like a full day of education and learning. But what we wanted from the summit was again going back to not having like aspirational events and stuff like that, where it's people talking and and it's all aspirational content that comes out of it. They are great, absolutely. We love them, but we also wanted something that from an event that people could get real tangible things to go and implement into their business for the upcoming wedding season. And that's what we've created with the summit. So like all the talks, for instance, this year we had people talking about sound design, Instagram and social strategy. We had
Yeah, Super 8,
business mindset, Super 8, which is a hot topic at the minute. Storytelling, like all these talks. But then on top of that, what we also do is we bring what we deem as called industry pros to the summit as well, because we have 2 1-hour sections where people can go and walk about and go and speak to these different pros that are dotted about the venue. They're talking about things like Google, and they're basically running little mini workshops on like Google and Meta ads, or editing workflows, or
CRM workflow.
Last
year we had copywriting,
Yeah.
we had web design. So I think there's 2 people who learn different ways, and sometimes you can be sat and talked to for 6 to 7 hours, or you can choose what you want to learn. And I think that's what we wanted to do with this. We wanted to make sure there was enough space that people can network. So you get a talk, and then there's like a break to do what you want to do, whether or not that's go and talk to an editor, talk to a web designer, talk to your friends, go outside, have a little like smoke if you want to. Like just a chance to be able to learn and then choose what you want to do. And that's why we've built an event like this. Plus,
Right.
we have thousands of pounds of prizes to give away as well. Someone wins a camera.
£10,000 of prize.
£10,000 of prizes. So people win cameras. They win, like someone last year, someone won their whole website designed. There's real differences being made at this event for people who attend and for their business. It's great. We love it.
I will say,
Fantastic.
I think you've done it about the right way. I know that you want to do it for the love of the community and raising the kind of the standard for everybody rather than a cash grab, like you said. But I would suggest that it's probably done more for your businesses than even maybe you realize, because like having been to both of the events, and I know that everyone, like certainly off the back of the last one, because it was only last month, like it's still fresh in my mind. Like everyone loved it so much, and there'll be so many people that were so grateful to you guys for hosting it, that really put you up on a pedestal. And like I know, like obviously I knew you, Danny, already, but like I've met Jason, and if I get inquiries in Scotland and I can't do them, you guys are the first kind of names on my mind when I recommend
that's
someone
happened.
else.
Yeah,
I definitely get invited a lot to second shoot more than I used to, which is good.
And I just think people are so grateful to everything that you've put back in, that it's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I
actually,
want to reciprocate it. do you know?
I mean, I got an email. I've not actually shared it with you yet, yesterday. And it was somebody that was just starting out. Manuela, I need to reply to her. I've just been so busy. But I think she kind of came over. She's Italian, and her family, I think, are like photographer, videographers, and stuff. And she'd been wanting to kind of get back into it. And she was even messaging me before the summit, and then post summit, she's just messaged again there just to say how grateful she was for everything she took away so much. And we've had loads of those messages. I'd say more so this year. It was an incredible. Not that last year wasn't great because it was, but I think we were a little bit. We figured out a lot of the things that maybe we dropped last year, and that's great. That spurs us on to continue to keep doing it. You know, like when we get those messages in, that makes it all worthwhile because I level with you. It is not easy putting those events on. Like it's mentally taxing to the highest, order, because it's like planning a wedding really, but whilst also trying to run your own business, whilst also,
During the busiest season of the
during
year,
the busiest
with
season of the
backlog
year,
season.
whilst also trying to be a good dad and a good husband. Like it's not easy, but that getting those comments on the back of it and those emails and those DMs or whatever, that's makes it worth it. And I think that's why, because I teared up on stage this year. A couple of reasons for that, but I think a lot of it was just the build up of everything, because it takes a lot out of you putting them on.
And as I said earlier, like when people who are starting out, they turn to you for advice. Like that is really it makes me feel great that I can offer to help, because I know rather than going to someone else who maybe is going to make them, I don't know, some people might not want to help other people, and they want to kind of hold secrets. It doesn't happen a lot, but I'm happy that they come to either me or Danny because we genuinely want to help them. We've been in their position. It's not too taxing for us to go out of our way to offer some advice. And if it gets them inspired and then they become a world-class videographer and then level up the industry, then we've played a little part in that. And I think that's brilliant. But I knew I had made it in the industry when I appeared in that AI video that PS Visuals made the other day.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Like,
See it.
I knew that when I appeared in that, I'm like, wow, okay, people know who I am. That's great.
You're in the big leagues now, son.
What was that promoting? Was that promoting? Was it your
Coda.
event or was it a
I've
different?
no idea. I think you just.
Yeah, it was Coda. Yeah,
Was
apparently
it for
it's Coda.
Coda?
Oh, it was
I
for
think because
Coda.
Matt's speaking at Coda this year, I think, is he not?
Oh, that'll be why. I was
that'll be
like,
why.
why the hell has he made this?
Yeah. I know,
That makes,
I know. It
that
seems
makes
like
more
for the
sense.
guy that does 100 weddings a year, who has time for this?
You know Matt. You know Matt Howard, don't you? The PS
Yeah,
Visual.
we had him on. We had him on the podcast. Yeah, and I've worked a few weddings with him.
He's
yeah.
great.
I loved
It's a lovely
I
guy.
loved your podcast with him. Like
Yeah.
I learned a lot in that podcast. Implemented. I think that actually after that podcast, we did a podcast on here and said like my business is transformed.
Well, actually, we need to get Matt on.
But then the boosted post thing just completely went down for me. I don't know. It was like a short-term success thing for me, the boosted post. So
Yeah, because he was the guy who gets all his work via boosting posts on Instagram, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
I think what he's done is that everyone started doing it, and then the traffic's driven up, so he's not got the monopoly anymore.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah, it's got to
And now
be.
everyone's doing it, and it becomes harder. That's is a brilliant case in point of that episode. Howard literally had his Instagram and was like, "Right, start again, slow down.
I loved
what
it.
do I
Yeah.
do
That.
next?"
Yeah.
Because I was the same. I was like, no, I'm with Howard here. Stop and let's do it. Let's do
I
it
was like,
together.
you can't just use this podcast
Oh,
for your own
got the
personal
course.
gain.
That was
Why not?
absolutely the course live on your podcast. It was
Listen,
brilliant.
Shy kids
But-
don't get splitties, so
But then this is kind of like this is a reason to do it because we learn so much from ours, and we get guests on that
Yeah.
we just want to learn from. And then if
That's it.
anyone else gets benefit out of it as well, then happy days.
I've actually dabbled in some more Facebook and Instagram ads off the back of his, but gone a bit more targeted and a bit more niched. And
How's it going?
they've actually done really well. I only tried two, and I did
Okay,
it for, I
Howard,
think-
just get your laptop out for us just now.
Yeah. So what you do is,
Let's just
but you
break
have to
this
go.
down.
You have to go through the meta, and it's a bit more
Yeah,
complicated. but-
business.facebook.com. I've dabbled with it, and I basically I don't know.
it's deliberately complicated to make you spend more money.
But here's the thing I've learned about it, right?
Yeah, probably.
Is that it's not a short-term fix. You have to be a long-term investor of Meta ads in order to get the benefit of it. And I think that's why a lot of people give up. Because Meta needs to learn. Granted, it's got AI and stuff, but it still needs I think what they call it is 50 reference points, which is either someone clicking on it or someone engaging with it in some way for it to understand whether or not that's the actual client that you're trying to reach. So you do need to invest in it for 3 to 6 months with a fairly hefty budget to actually get the benefit of it, which is what I'm starting just now. So in 6 months' time, I'll let you know how it's going. I might be bankrupt, but that's I genuinely I cannot see how meta ads can fail because it's the biggest marketing engine in the world.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
could it possibly fail if you do all the steps right? And
Yeah.
that is that's
I
definitely
think it's good for us being in our niche because we can charge quite decent pricing to our couples. Where if you're a company and you only charge £10 for a product, for instance, and it costs you £4 to make, you've not got much room to keep that campaign going. But with us, it's not too bad. It's not a bad place to put your money.
Just book another wedding. Just book another wedding.
Yeah.
That'll pay for it.
That's the marketing budget. Half a wedding.
But then if you put that money into marketing and it gets you a wedding, and then that pays for itself, and then it becomes a numbers
me and
game, doesn't it?
ChatGPT came up with a whole business plan with this meta advertising in terms of what bookings I need and what budget is going to be allocated to it. But yeah, it's
a numbers game. If you get it right, it just becomes a numbers game, doesn't it?
Matt's testament to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think he spends 20-odd thousand a year on his adverts.
Wild.
Yeah, I think that's actually a fair estimate of what you need to invest in it. It sounds like a scary number, but £20,000 of advertising turns into £100,000 of business. And on that side,
plus all the organic.
Yeah, absolutely. So it does actually make sense, and that's the kind of budget that I think if I'm going to do it, that's kind of where I'd go to.
I think the content's probably one of the most important parts of it as well.
100%, because it's so easy to switch off the content. So it needs to be engaging enough. But
most people just chuck 100 quid and go, "Oh, that didn't get me anything."
Exactly.
And then
because 100 quid is a lot of money to people.
Yeah.
But if you know, and if you don't see a direct success from that, then you are just going to go, I'm just wasting money here. But I think you need to get past that investment. From what I've been researching, I think you need to go to 2 to 3 grand before you start really seeing what it can do for you, which sounds scary, but on the other side of that, if it works, that's turning into an 80% profit. So it's a scary thing for people, but I cannot see how it could fail for your business.
We need to do this, Adam, when we launch our new thing. 100%. Just put the budget there and make it work. Right.
This is an interesting tangent that I didn't think we'd go down.
Where are we up to?
Do you have any questions, Howard, regards the a conference thing?
The summit, Adam. Let's get it right.
The summit.
The conference.
That little thing that
conference. That sounds a bit corporate, that, doesn't it, Adam?
I mean, we were going to call it that Wedding Videographer Conference, but
I just because
like where?
Oh yeah, I know it's a summit.
I think summit's better.
If anyone listening don't know what we mean by a summit, it's a conference, isn't it? Sorry.
Summit's happening.
Yeah,
mate.
no. I think
it's so much more than just a conference. It's amazing. I love it. I've got my ticket for next year.
Good man.
No, I think you answered it perfect, and it's great. And when I was listening to you describe it, I was like, I'm not a filmmaker, but I want to go as well.
So, like, here's the thing. Like, we're tied in with the name. Like, well, the branding is a great choice for SEO if you're a videographer and you want a podcast to listen to.
I think we come up first or second there.
I mean, it's a very good SEO name. But unfortunately, it does sort of just tie you into videographers. Now, the things we talk about and the things that were at the summit, and I think Adam could testament to this, is that it's not all for videographers. Yes, there are some talks that are dedicated for videographers. Like, it'd be quite hard for sound design, like photographers or, an entertainment business to get value out of that. But the Meta and Google Ads expert, we've had web design, we've had copywriting experts, we've had business mindset. There's a lot of stuff there that's genuinely there to help your business. So, we are open to everyone, and we've got DJs coming next year to learn and to kind of network as well, because I mean networking is key as well. If you can get, obviously you're meeting people at weddings, but if you go to these things, you can become a preferred supplier when someone's looking for a recommendation, which is always helpful. So
I mean, we had Tom Langford there from the Wedding Capture Code podcast. He was there as a photographer last year, and we actually need to post that video testimonial he made for us, because he sent us over a video testimonial basically just saying how great it was even as a photographer, how much he took from it.
Mm.
I think probably some people do probably just look at the name and then go, oh, it's just for videographers, which I mean, it is for videographers mainly, but there's still so much more because it's multifaceted in terms of it covers a lot of kind of like business stuff and business strategy. There's loads. I mean, Michaela, who has been at the at the summit as an industry pro for the last 2 years talking about Google and Meta ads, she's like, I go to so many photography conferences and this is like the best. Like,
Yeah, and it's
she's very complimentary.
like I don't think she's just like saying
She's
that.
not just saying it now.
Like she's given us like a lot of them do have. There's a lot of things that miss beats for people, and that's what we've really tried to iron out. Is that this is an event that flows, that really targets what it is that's important to you, and the fact that we've had people who aren't necessarily in the industry take a lot of value from it means a lot.
Yeah.
And
I think you can do.
yeah.
I think you can. I even had a friend of mine who was a magician. I think he went on a videography course once, just for like the business side of it, and he got loads from it.
Yeah.
Was it Sam? Was it Sam? I was going
Yeah,
to
it was
bring
Sam,
that
yeah.
example up because imagine, and Danny, you said with Tom, the photographer, this was the same story with Sam. Imagine going to the summit and there's a room full of videographers and you're the only photographer there and you're networking with them all. Like how many
Yeah.
of those videographers then might start recommending him or become part of his network because he was the only
100%.
one in the room.
Yeah.
And that's what Sam went to a videography workshop years ago. I think I was there, and it was like, what you do? Well, A, we were like, come on, show us a trick, and then B, we were like, why are you here? What you wanting to get out of this?
He
And
actually
he's like,
came with me when I did a speaking event after I won the wedding awards. I got invited to a speaking event. It was all DJs down south, and he just wanted to come with me.
yeah. I think he said like, imagine like if I can network with all these videographers, they're all going to start recommending me as a magician if a couple ask for a magician. And I was like, oh yeah,
Well,
that
it's
makes
like you
total
go in,
sense.
if you're meeting a girl and you go into an event and it's all girls and you're the only guy, you're gonna score, aren't you? It's a numbers game.
I think do you know what actually as well? I just like I would say thinking about just what you were saying earlier. This is slightly going back a little bit, but one thing I definitely would say that has happened as a result of it. Photographers definitely know who we are more, and I get recommendations a lot of the time from photographers that I haven't ever worked with. That
Actually, you're right.
yeah,
That does happen. That does happen. I actually went to a wedding as a guest, and the photographer came running up to me and knew my wife. I had no idea who the photographer was at the time, but she knew my wife. She knew her story. She knew we were moving house. She knew everything, and I'm like, wow, this is this is quite surreal. And it was like 2 days later that I got a recommendation from her that I booked. And it's that does happen. So yes, you're right. That does happen.
sorry to take us back a bit. That just popped in my head there.
No, you're right. It does because you were saying it sounded when I started my YouTube channel years ago. It was very similar to what you guys are saying with the podcast. There was loads of YouTube channels in America that I followed that kind of told me how to film a wedding behind the scenes, but didn't really because it's very different. And I was like, there needs to be someone in the UK doing this that I can actually like watch and be related to. Like I will get more out of that. And then no, there wasn't anything. So then I think we spoke about it, Howard. I started putting my bits on, and then because it's like what you guys did. If it's not there, if it doesn't exist, and you're waiting for someone to do it, then I just did it. And my intention was always keep it within videography world, and just build community with it. But actually, I've found over the years, and I was actively trying to avoid sharing it with couples because I was like, you see me behind the scenes at a wedding, I'm leaning on the wall and going, yeah, just you don't need to. You can use a shortcut here. You don't need to film that. But I was like, this does not paint me in the best light as far as couples go.
That's experience. That just shows you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you
true.
know what you're doing. You know what you need to capture, and you know what you don't need to capture.
True. But
So
I was
that's-
terrified of couples seeing
that's how I
it.
would-
But yeah, no, I've had couples and certainly grooms. I don't know if it's a guy thing because it's a bit more techy and it's something that they can chip in with. Because I think a lot of the time, if it's a bride and groom and the bride's doing the majority of the planning, then the groom's like a bit lost, don't know what to contribute to this meeting, this conversation. So I do get them. Oh, I've seen you on YouTube, by the way. Like I like this and I like that. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I do come off okay. Maybe couples do like it.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
You do.
You do. You definitely do.
Shall we go with the quick fire round questions, and then
Well-
I'd love to get these guys' insights on sponsorship and stuff, which we can talk about after. But I think for now we can do the quick fire questions.
Before we do that, my last question regards this whole thing. Obviously, for anyone listening, just to summarize what we've talked about, like education, if you're starting out, invaluable, like your return on investment's ridiculous, well worth doing. But also, like, for anyone listening who is in their own little niche thinking, oh, like, there's not a podcast in mind, that would be good to have a summit in floristry, or I mean, I don't know, because they might exist already, but I think it is like real beneficial for anyone listening who might be thinking about doing something for their community, like what you guys have done. So I just wanted to add the last question. What's the biggest thing that you've found from starting your podcast to now, and the evolution of the podcast and the summit? What's been the biggest benefit to both of you that you maybe didn't realize would be the case?
I think the thing to remember is that if you are running your own business and you're solo in that, we said it kind of at the beginning, where you don't necessarily meet your other suppliers, you don't get an opportunity to meet them, and you can sometimes think that you're in your own world, that only matters to you. But I think anyone who's ever posted any content online, it reaches the people that it needs to. And I think that's what we found, is that when we started talking about what was important to us, we found the people that it also mattered to. They come to find you because with SEO and algorithms, these platforms are built to show you stuff that you're interested in. So if you're willing to put the time in to put in content that is relatable to someone else, regardless of what the interest is, whether that be floristry, whether that be, decorations, or like invitations, whether that's entertainment, if you put in something that someone else is also going through and they can relate to that, you will find your people. And this compounding effect happens when you attract people in, that it attracts others. And that compounding effect just makes everything so much better. So regardless of what industry you're in, if you feel like you've got something that you want to find more of, that you're struggling to find answers to, put your opinion out there, put your thoughts and feelings of what's happening to you. And I guarantee people will come to you and expand your horizons on that. It's absolutely, in today's world, put your thoughts and feelings out there and you will find your people. That's what I would say to that.
Like it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I like it. Nice.
Good point, well made. Go on then, quick fire, Howard.
Quick fire questions. Are you ready, boys?
Yep.
Big wedding or small?
Big.
Big.
Favorite part of a wedding day?
Dancing.
Couple shoot.
Most stressful moment of a wedding day?
Ceremony.
Ceremony.
Yeah, right before that ceremony, like people, like videographers, have it different to everyone else. We have so many moving parts before a ceremony begins.
Ceremony speeches are quite.
I feel like every videographer would have the exact same answer for that question.
Yeah, that's when we're in the zone. That's when photographers come up to us and go, "Are you all right?" Because you've obviously been this happy-go-lucky guy the rest of the day, and it comes to, and I'm like, I'm totally fine. I'm in the zone right now. I'm in the zone.
Don't talk to me.
I'm not annoyed at you. I'm not pissed off. I promise. I'll go back to being happy-go-lucky Danny in about half an hour.
We'll have been given a plan of what's happening, and that plan will get thrown out the window when the people walking down the aisle don't know where they're standing and stand different positions, which means all your cameras are compromised, and you have about 5 seconds to figure that out with 3 angles. It's stressful.
It's amazing how much time slows down though when you're in the zone. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's a good. Yeah, good answer. Right, love that. Okay, have you guys got a favorite venue?
I don't have a favorite venue.
I've got a few favorites. My favorite list grows each year.
I'll tell you what my favorite venue is: when it's not a venue, like when it's someone's personal. Like I've got a load of farms and homes,
like home marquee things.
I love it when someone does something that I've never seen before.
They're good because it's normally a free bar. And people get
pizza and tacos and burritos.
Yeah, the garden marquees are great. Yeah,
like venues. I find venues. I've never found a venue that has ticked all the boxes in terms of making there's always been a challenge. But when there's a blank canvas, you're like, all right, I'm just going to film this as it is. And yeah, so not a venue.
Not a venue. Go, oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Have you got a favorite venue, Adam?
No, not really. Like there's a a
I'd
cluster
say
of
I've got like a
favorites.
top 10. I've got
Yeah.
a top 10 that I'm like, I really like going there. The staff are great. They know me well. There's like nice things to
Yeah.
shoot. It's
This
interesting.
is my favorites are always centered around the staff, the food, the things that I don't
Yeah.
care about as a videographer, but just as a person attending as
Yeah.
a supplier.
Just,
Yeah.
just if they make it sure it's like a nice, and
Yeah.
that's different venue sizes for different weddings as well that are in there. I've definitely got what I call the do not rizzle list, which there's definitely ones that I'm just like I do not want to
Yeah.
go to.
Howard's got that,
through,
haven't you?
through lived experience of being there,
Yeah.
and for a varying different reasons, you know. But again, a lot of that actually comes down to how the staff treat the couple and how they treat the suppliers, and that is a big factor on whether or not it goes on my do not rizzle list.
Can I just
Yeah,
clarify? But I do like shooting at venues. Like I do love the staff. I do like the food. But if you talk about a favorite thing, like something I haven't seen before is great. But there are some amazing venues to film at.
Couples don't listen to this. Don't worry.
I'm more thinking about the venues.
Yeah.
You're right there, Adam. It comes down to the staff and the experience of being at the venue sometimes rather than the actual venue. And
You
like
could
I say,
have the nicest venue in the world, right? And see if the staff there. My take on it is more on how they treat the couple and how they treat the guests.
yeah.
That's my big red flag. If they, because there been at venues before, and you know the owner or whatever has been like, you know, having a shouting match with like some of the bridal party and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah. I've got a few of them venues that are on my list that I don't take bookings at now, and I openly tell couples when I get inquiries for those particular venues, and I tell them why. And I've had a few that have actually changed venues from it. So sorry to those venue owners, but you need to sort your shit out.
You'll have a problem with limiters and things as well, though, won't you?
So that's another one. I've probably got about 4 on my list that I've got sound limiters that I just can't deliver my act because it's just too low.
Yeah.
Not that I blast people's heads off, but I like to have the creativity and the control.
just turn
of
your
the-
gain down.
Fuck off. Right. Here's another one. If you weren't wedding videographers, what other role would you want at a wedding?
DJ.
Funny
Love to be
that. That's
DJ.
so weird.
My answer.
I'd love
Go
to
on.
be DJ.
Danny.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of videographers say DJ.
Do you know what I'd love? Do you know what I'd love to? Just purely because I'd love to be able to play at the sax. I'd love to be like the sax. I'd like to
yeah.
be.
Oh my God, you two could be DJ Sax team.
Oh, can I be the bongos? That'd be so good.
Adam can be the bongos. You could be the DJ. You could be the sax.
You know why? Because it just everybody loves you.
Yeah.
You walk into the room and then like, because we've got a bunch of like incredible sax players in Scotland. One who's a really close friend of ours, Ewan from Shades of Sax, and it's like everybody who's already maybe ever seen him or another wedding, they're always so excited to see him. They're like, oh, he's here,
Yeah.
and their face lights up, and I'm like, like that would be class. And then you have you have the whole room in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
Do you know my theory behind this is that because as videographers we don't get any plaudits until way after the wedding when the film's delivered behind closed doors. And we see the sax players getting all this affection on the day. I see people loving Howard on the day.
Yeah.
I want a slice of that.
Must be
I'm a
so good.
human too. I'm a
Yeah.
human too. I've got feelings.
Get out of the way, videographer. We want to see the sax in entertainment.
I know.
That's what they're saying.
Hey, you weren't this happy to see me this morning.
I would enjoy this saxophonist more if the light wasn't shining in my face. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, probably sax.
Some form of entertainment.
Yeah.
You just want to be loved.
All right, last one.
Cool. One wedding trend you're ready to say goodbye to. So parts of the wedding day perhaps you can do without nowadays. But
I think so. There's a few here actually, like the cutting of the cake.
I was thinking that. I think I would like people to be more creative with it.
I just think it's just I don't know, such a meh. I don't know if I'm just numb to it because I've done it for so long, but I'm just kind of like, it's
So
just,
let me
oh,
tell
let's bring
you.
the cake out, we'll cut the cake, get everybody want a photo, right, and then we'll just get rid of the cake. And it's
Let
just
me
for
tell you
that.
how I do the cake thing when I'm at a wedding, because I think it's the most weird formal bullshit you could ever do. So I always tell my couple. So when I do the cake, so ladies and gentlemen, just before we get ready for the night party, before the dance skills come in and the poles come down, we're going to go over there and we're going to cut the cake. So if you folks want to get a photograph of these two cutting some cake, why, you weirdos? And and if you go around to the house next week, they're cutting a steak pie if you want to get a picture of that as well.
See, this is the thing, right? Because the format is that the couple are cutting the cake and they face the crowd. For the last couple of times, I've been trying to push that the crowd gathers behind them. So when the picture of them cutting the cake, it has everyone going crazy like this. You've got an amazing picture. The cake's in it. They're cutting it. They get the best of having a delicious cake. That artistry is amazing. Everyone behind them is going crazy. They don't need a picture on their phone of them cutting the cake. They
But
don't
they
need
want one. They want one.
But
They
like,
want one.
I mean, just get them to go around afterwards. But just if we're gonna do it, change it up. It's not that I want to get rid of the trend. I just want it to evolve. And I
Yeah,
think
I've seen a lot of different things recently. Well, I say a lot of different things. Quite a lot of people having champagne towers now instead
I
of
think
the
that's
cake.
more interesting. That's fun. Do you know what I mean?
Adam did a good thing last year at his wedding where he had espresso martinis all piled up, and then they
Sounds great.
made the last one and poured it in, and that was pretty cool. That was different.
See, there was a champagne tower at a wedding I did recently with Ewan from Tartan Entertainment, and he had the bass going through the building. And the bass has the vibrations. And a stack of champagne glasses, they don't like vibrations. Oh no, the whole thing came clattering down.
Did it?
He had to pay for them.
Excellent. Yeah.
You got the blame, you had to pay for them. Crazy.
Yeah,
Right, I've got two more
probably
questions
stuff,
left.
stuff like that, I think.
Yeah.
Like those things that are just a bit meh, just get
Can't
rid of
really
it.
think of any other trend right now other than
Yeah.
that would be changed.
Speeches, maybe, but I think speeches
Nah,
so
I
many
mean,
things are needed.
They can't go. They need to
Well,
stay.
you guys need speeches. Yeah.
We need them.
Right, most funny, embarrassing story from a wedding.
Uh-oh.
Wildest story.
Uh-oh. I mean, I know exactly what I'm going to tell.
On
I,
you go.
I don't know if it's safe for this podcast or not, but
You asked me this on your podcast, and I had to give my wild story. So
that was
I
no.
don't
We
think.
asked you the biggest balls up.
Biggest balls up.
That was your
But
biggest
was
mistake.
it not when I was ill on the toilet?
Oh, you were.
Oh, you were Yeah.
forthcoming
with that. That came out of
I
left
think
field.
that just came at you. But I mean, I have a similar story.
I'm
You're
interested
cheering
in
mood,
no, I'm
Adam.
interested in your craziest story.
I have
wanna
a
know.
similar story, kind of similar story to yours, Adam. It was the second. I did actually share this on our podcast recently, but it was the second ever wedding that I filmed back in 2009. Free bar had been flowing.
Dear God.
Yeah, he knows what's coming. Free bar had been flowing all day. It came to the speeches, and the groom was absolutely gone, totally gone. And obviously in Scotland he was wearing a kilt, so he goes to sit down on his new wife's knee, puts his arm around her and says, like, "Darling, I love you so much. Like, can't believe we've brought all these people together. It's been an amazing day. Thank you so much." Stood up with his pint, and the bride screams in horror as she looks down on her knee, and the groom has left a skid mark on the dress. And what proceeded to happen is that the family and the table ahead of the top table saw that, was so angry at the groom that they all started throwing pint glasses at the groom.
No way.
We were ushered out. The whole wedding stopped. The police came. We had to hand over footage.
Wow.
Second wedding. Business for me.
Surprised you're still doing it.
I'm like,
That's gotta be a rough wedding.
Oh, I mean, aye. It was
Gotta be a rough wedding.
I mean,
'cause,
there was some chemicals flowing at that wedding for sure.
That
guests
escalated
throw-
quickly.
throw pints at the groom.
It was that.
That
Pints and
escalated.
cutlery
I
and
was
everything.
I was
It was
I was still on skid mark on dress. And
I know.
then you started throwing pints. I was like, what?
shit happens, eh?
That's a good one.
I mean, I
Certainly does.
I don't have anything to beat that. It's just
No, I think we end it there.
That's
It was mad.
That's a
Man.
good one.
But it's never really. Weddings have been really boring since then.
Well, our last question, which is from our last guest, and we'll ask you to leave a question for the next guest.
Ooh.
It's what we do every time. So the last guest, Will, asked, "What's the best gig, the best wedding you've ever done, and why?" So that kind of shoehorns in nicely from your worst ever wedding to.
So there's this time in 2009 when I was specifically.
That was also your best ever wedding.
I
Best
mean,
and worst.
there's a few that come to mind.
Repeat the question again there, sorry.
Best ever wedding
So
you've
the
done.
best wedding
best-
you've ever been to,
Best
and why?
ever wedding that I've filmed.
And why?
That is difficult, man. That is
Must have
difficult.
a few that come to your head. And
I've got like maybe like a top 3 or 4 that are just have been epic straight from. It's like almost you walk into bridal prep and you know that this is going to be an absolute belter of a day. A lot of it comes from just the energy of obviously the couple, and but actually a lot of the time, more importantly, like the bridal party. And like you walk into that room and then you feel the energy as soon as you walk in. Everybody's like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
Like they ones have been class. I've shot a couple, like for instance, like Kinmount House that have been like that, and it's just been, yeah, like just that 100. I remember I shot a wedding once at Kinmount House, and I walked away from the wedding with a terabyte of footage because I didn't stop filming. I just didn't stop filming. It was like all day.
Wow.
All day, and there was just so much going on, and it was all great stuff. So you try to condense all that down, by the way.
You had the SD cards for that, obviously.
Yeah, a 15. Ah, yeah, and I never ever take the SD cards out, and I had to quite a few times at that wedding. But yeah, that was incredible, and everything. There was Sax at that. Ewan was at that one, and it was just the most packed dance floor I've ever seen at a wedding as well. Not one person was sitting down on a chair. The full way. I've never seen it before in my life. Every single person from that wedding was on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's
really what makes it. Like I'm the same as you. I can't pinpoint one wedding, but the weddings that come to my mind were always when every single person that got invited to that wedding went for it. That all the suppliers were completely on it in terms of like having banter with each other. The couple had the best day. Like this sounds like a really political answer, but you feel happiest when you know you've done a great job and people have enjoyed their day and you've managed to capture this successfully. And there's been a few wild weddings.
Do you ever see? It winds me up when guests you see them and like as a supplier I'm watching guests and like you're at someone's invited you to their wedding, bought you a meal. Cheer up, enjoy yourself.
I say this to all my couples advice. I always tell them there's 3 things to make a great wedding. Number 1 is time it well. Number 2 is invite a brilliant crowd. And number 3 is have music entertainment throughout the day and night because it just works every time.
But people invite their people, obviously, because you can't just discount family because they're boring.
Yeah.
So
but you can mix it. You can have. Yeah,
but the best advice would be to invite fun people. Just invite fun people.
I think that's what I always say to my couples is that, think of when you're planning your wedding, don't think about your aunt, right? Think about your core friend group. Who do you have the most fun with on a day-to-day basis? And what kind of day, if you're thinking about the other people, obviously think about yourself. But if you're thinking about having fun with people, think about your core group and what you'd like to do.
That's what we done for our wedding. We majority of the people that I would say about 90% of the people that were there were our friends. Yeah. And then there was Kirsty and I don't have massive families anyway, but we were just like we just want our friends there, the people that we talk to all the time, because that's what's going to make the wedding, not a third or second cousin that you've not spoke to in about 10 years.
I just planned it around my friends, and it just so happened my family had a good time at it as well. So
one thing actually that comes to mind when you were talking about to get rid of at weddings, 2 p.m. ceremonies.
Yeah,
get them gone.
What is that?
No. Why would you do that?
Earlier, enjoy
earlier
get more
the
of the
better.
day. Get
Come
more
on
of the
now.
day.
No.
Yeah.
They should get rid of.
It's not I think that's quite a good time.
2 p.m. is the time because then I don't have to turn up till 12, so I don't have to set off early.
Earlier the better. 1 p.m. should be the latest.
I don't know if we're in the minority there, Danny, but
nah, I think get the most.
I love a 2 p.m. in summer. Like if you've got the light and it's summer, and you've got the nice golden hour at sunset into the evening, and everyone can, like last night, the guests were spilled out into the gardens after dinner, and it was like golden hour, and they were playing games. It was great.
I want
But
to
if you-
split up that ceremony and speech setup time as far apart as possible. Like earlier the ceremony, it's got to be
Yeah,
done.
but then like the drink reception's too long, and
Love it.
no, I'm not with you.
Get in the canopies,
So-
get the music, chill out for a bit. It's great.
So this is my point of that is timing the wedding is important. And one of my main things is not having it too early. Because if you do, you're too stressed in the morning. Everybody's got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready to come to the wedding. They've got to travel there. You're dead stressed trying to get everything rushed. Then things happen, and then you're left with a massive gap between the day and the night, and that's when it all flops. So if you can start a little bit late and let it flow seamlessly from one thing to the next, you get a nice continuation. And plus, you start too early. Everybody's leathered at 6 o'clock.
Class.
You know?
Class.
yeah. Scottish weddings, it's got to be, yeah.
Talking to two Glaswegians.
That's good for you
wow.
guys, isn't it? Yeah. That's
Love
just my
that.
take on it. And
I'm like,
I think
everything you're saying sounds great.
Yeah, seems like a benefit.
guys,
Uh,
I tell you
listen.
what, it's been great having you on. I've been brilliant.
Yeah.
But
Thanks so much, lads. Can we have a question, please, for our next guest?
So,
Do you know who your next guest is going to be?
yes, we can't tell you.
Can you
No-
tell us
no
the
telling.
industry?
No,
Don't tell it. Don't tell
Yeah.
them.
top
Okay.
secret, man.
What's your favorite frames per second?
We won't tell you that because then it keeps it, like
Okay,
wedding
so-
generic rather than you
How-
asking a video question.
how do you see AI affecting your subset of the wedding industry? And how do you think that's going to change your sector within the next, say, 2 to 5 years?
Oh, banger,
Great question, Danny.
banger.
He asked AI
Great.
for that question.
Yeah. That's so relevant for whoever the next guest is as well.
Really?
isn't
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect. Lovely.
Uh,
Cheers.
it?
Thank you,
right,
guys.
well,
Boys, yeah, thank you very much for having us on. It's been great. Great
We'll
chatting
tag
to you.
tag you in when we share this, and so
There you
people
go.
can find you. And even if you're not a videographer, listen to the podcast that the guys
give
do
it a whirl.
because it's great. If you're in weddings at all, then there's loads of insights. It's brilliant, and it's entertaining. Like I just love listening to you two bicker and dynamic and
We're good at that.
I love that you said, like, even if you're not a videographer, listen to it. Like, we're at the end of the podcast. Like, they've listened to the podcasts.
no, I meant yours. I'm plugging yours.
Oh, and mine.
yeah,
I thought you meant this
Sorry,
one.
he's a little bit slow, so just he'll catch up soon.
So
He'll catch up
don't
soon.
worry, Jason. You can
In
have a
about
nap
10 minutes,
now.
you'll forget.
We're
that this
winding down.
podcast
You can
even
go for a
happened.
nap.
I'll need to remind him.
So there was this wedding in 2009. And,
Right, bye, boys.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
yeah.
Bye bye.
And cut.
So, thanks so much for listening. We really hope that you found this episode insightful, inspirational, and if you did enjoy that, then please consider subscribing to us wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. We're Think Wedding Business.
We're also on YouTube and Instagram. So if you want to watch us, you can go over to YouTube and find us at Think Wedding Business. And the same over on Instagram to keep up with all of our future episodes.
We'd really love you to subscribe and join us on this journey. And if you do like this content, please consider giving us a 5-star review. It just helps us get seen and helps spread the word.
So thanks again for listening,
Wings
and we'll see you
out.
next time.
Bye-bye.